Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is a brew challenge from Patreon subscriber Spike's Cafe, and the challenge was to build a deck that uses Teferi's Veil. This is one of those dumbass cards from the early years of Magic, but Spike's Cafe is a big fan. Whenever a creature you control attacks, it phases out at end of combat. And what phasing means is it's functionally treated like it's not there until your next untap phase where it reappears. There's some benefits and some drawbacks to this card. It means that any of your creatures that attack won't be there on your opponent's turn, which means your opponent can never kill one of your creatures with sorcery speed removal. That's pretty cool. It also means if you have something with vigilance, like Atraxa, it can't block, which is not cool. That's half that card. But if I was asked to play around this card, I was going to full send it, and I chose to lean into the mechanic of sacrifice this at end of turn, where if the creature phases out in combat, it won't be there at end of turn to sacrifice. Which led me to Ball Lightning, baby. The classic. Trample, haste, 6/1, end step this dies. And it's Cursed Brother, Lightning Skelemental. Same card, except when it hits your opponent, they discard 2 cards. These things are massively overstated, they have a huge effect on the board, and then they're gone. Or are they? Maybe they're still here. Maybe they're still here every turn, and you have to use a removal spell on them. I like that. Thunderkin Awakener is another way to scam Ball Lightnings. This is 1/2 haste. Whenever this creature attacks, choose target elemental creature in your graveyard with toughness less than this creature's toughness. Return that card to the battlefield tapped and attacking, and sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. This does not work with Teferi's Veil. You don't get to bring a Ball Lightning back and then also phase it out, because when it attacks, Teferi's Veil is looking at the same step of the game as Thunderkin Awakener is. So by the time Awakener brings back a Ball Lightning, Teferi's Veil has already missed it. But the Thunderkin Awakener can keep throwing that Ball Lightning every turn. Fury and Deceit are just kind of on-theme pieces of interaction. Deep Cavern Bat as well, because I have lands like Abundant Countryside and Cavern of Souls that can't cast normal spells. But I do have my 4 Thoughtseize. We have to use turns 1 and 2 to kind of clear the way, and then turn 3 and beyond we're doing the thing, hopefully. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is just a generic excellent filler card in red decks to keep the gas flowing, and Reflection of Kiki Jiki's ability. You sacrifice the copy in the end step. If it's not there, you don't sacrifice it. You get to keep your reflections forever. But there's also synergy with the build. And a fun of Ashling the Limitless. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. The token gains haste. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice it unless you pay Wooburg. This is another way to recycle Ball Lightnings. You attack with the Ball Lightning once naturally, and then end step you sacrifice it, and then you get a copy of it, which will be around until your next end step to attack again. This one also gets action off of Fury and Deceit, our Evoke elementals, because that's kind of what Ashling is meant to do, to play with Evoke. You evoke a Fury, you kill some stuff, Fury dies, you get a copy of Fury, you attack for 6, and then if you have Teferi's Veil, you get to keep the copy too. A lot of synergy here. Probably not going to break the Legacy metagame. This deck might even just be better without Teferi's Veil as Rakdos Balls, but who cares? We're here to play Teferi's Veil, and this is what we're doing. I'm on the draw in round 1. This hand beats up the opponent's hand starting turn 2 with the Deep Cavern Bat, and then Skelementals them on turn 3, or Bats again if their hand was too good. Opponent's on a mull to 5. Am I getting oopsed? No, okay. But probably getting Black Saga Stormed, or Necrodomed. Simian Spirit Guide for Beseech the Mirror. Alright, where's this going? Alright, Necrodominance it is. Alright, well, you play a non-blue deck, you pair into some mess in round 1. Let's see if they get there. They're going to pay 19 life and try to win right now. That's how their deck works. They've spent 1 Spirit Guide already, so they need double Spirit Guide, Manamorphose to get Born Upon a Wind going, and then they can cast all their other spells. Okay, they appear to have it, but I'm going to make them play it all the way out. Some more mana. Storm is 7. I'll concede to a Thoughtseize. Or no, I will not concede to a Thoughtseize because they'll die. I'd concede to a Duress, or if they're checking my hand in any way, because I don't want them to know what I'm up to. Some Rituals Living Cast, and there's the Tendrils. All right. A good start to the league. Mindbreak Trap comes in. Disruptor Flute comes in. They're not really doing graveyard stuff. Fury doesn't matter. Lightning Bolt can just kill them. Sorry to Teferi's Veil. And these games are literally not going to last more than one turn, is the problem. Pyroblast could push through Active Negation, I guess. Ashling is probably worse than Teferi's Veil. I'll leave some of them in. Every other card is more useful than either of these cards, Ashling or Teferi, though. So I will leave in one Veil for the memes. Okay, this hand does not interact on turn 1. I'll maul it. This one has Lightning Bolt. I think I will actually keep this. And bottom, I want to get Abundant Countryside going, or I want to get Ball Lightning going, but I can't cast Ball Lightning with Underground Sea anyway. All right, so it's actually Underground Sea to the bottom. Yeah, okay, that one makes the most sense. I wanted to bottom a land, but I also wanted to cast Ball Lightning, and that one does both. So basically what's going on here is I'm trying to use Lightning Bolt to buy me a turn to Deep Cavern Bat, and Lightning Bolt before the Necro makes them just draw 3 fewer cards. Lightning Bolt after the Necro, they just Pact of Negation it and it doesn't matter. Okay, they've got a 7-card hand. I'm gonna get my Raucous Theater. Fable too slow here. That would have been sick if it was a Skelemental. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, I'm just gonna Disruptor Flute right now, naming Necro Dominance. Doing it now plays around Pact of Negation, and that card costing 6 is a lot harder than it costing less than 6 for them. All right, deck. Ball Lightning? Not Ball Lightning. I am going to bat them, though, see what's going on over there, and start applying pressure. DCB, you know me. All right, their hand is 2 Necros, a Duress that doesn't matter. Beseech could be the way out of this. These cost 5. There's 2 Beseeches, though. I guess I just want to take Cabal Ritual. That seems like the bottleneck in their hand more than anything. Well, they drew something. Anamorphose, okay. Cycled off Spirit Guide. They get to make black here. They can use that to duress me, and then hopefully just pass the turn. You get my Lightning Bolt. Is this what you expected, opponent? Hell yeah. Alright, let's go. Ball Lightning. Make it happen. Yeah! Lightning balls to the lightning walls. And then this Ball Lightning is going to hit them every turn because of Thunderkin Awakener. Gemstone Mine, starting to find some black mana. Underground Sea. Alright, well, I'll cast both Awakeners. Only one can trigger per turn. Well, they can both trigger, but I only have 1 elemental to bring back. But it does attack for 1. Here we go. Ball Lightning's in. Yeah! Taste it, dweeb. Okay. Wait, now I gotta do that on the draw, and they know what I'm doing. They are unlikely to hold back in any capacity here. The only card in my deck that matters on turn 0 is Mindbreak Trap. The Leyline of the Void just doesn't really affect what they're doing. They might have some kind of backdoor Beseech line to storm me out, but I don't think that's worth 4 slots for Leyline of the Void. All right, here we go. These are the cards I have. All right, let's just see a good hand with Mindbreak Trap. Oh, I saw a blue card and got so excited. Okay, this will be a mulligan. Mulligan, like caramba. All right, this hand is excellent if I get 1 turn. I am going to keep it and bottom reanimate, I guess. Okay, if I don't get a turn, that's the matchup, but I'm not going to chase a 2 of. Kind of got to hope that they just waste time duressing me. All right, well, there's a duress. Do you also have Dark Ritual and Necrodom? 1 Thoughtseize gone. Ooh, I'm getting a turn. These are the dice we rolled. Oh, the Ball Lightning. Okay. Badlands, Thoughtseize you. Take Beseech the Mirror. There's a Cabal Ritual land in this hand. Yeah, they had the Send, but... Or no, they didn't have the Send. They were 1 mana short? Yeah, they were 1 mana short on a Send. Oh, don't do it. Don't you fucking do it. Manamorphose. Sorry, they're just rolling the dice here. They know every turn the game gets worse for them. There's like 7 draws in the deck that matter right now. Okay, cool. Lost a Manamorphose. Because the way that this all works is that every damage they take, incidentally, is card they don't get to draw when they do finally find a Necro. And every card could matter, especially with one Manamorphose spent already, because their big draw has to come up with Manamorphose plus the Born Upon a Wind. Deep Cavern Bat. I could Bat plus Bolt, or I could Ball Lightning. I think that Ball Lightning is just better. Is that crazy? I don't think it's crazy. It doesn't feel crazy. All right, it might be crazy. No, I'm doing it. Like, if their hand was anything, they would have cast it, and I don't think with this many resources that anything that would suddenly appear, Bat would stop. And I'm more interested in bolting them than I am in batting them, and Lightning, or Ball Lightning, is just a 2 bolts. I think if they don't go for it this turn, we're actually just in there. And they gave up! Undefeated with Ball Lightning in 2026 in Legacy. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play for round 2. I'm going to keep my hand. It doesn't do anything till turn 2, but that's going to be pretty common with this deck. Not every single matchup is as extreme as the one we just played. I even have the fun of Ashling, which is dope because Fury and Deceit are both here. My deck is insanely bad against Wasteland. I'm just calling that out now. I know that is true, but short of adding 3 lands to the deck, I just kind of let it ride. There's 22, which is probably the minimum. There's things you could do to fill that in. There's like Smoke Braider and Flame Braider, which are ways to, like, Mana Dorks, Super Mana Dorks for Elemental specifically. I played a version of this deck many years ago that had Birds of Paradise in it because we were also playing Groundbreaker. I'm just going to lean on the old, if they're wastelanding me, they're dying. Aggressive deck strategy. Okay, opponent has revealed Devourer of Destiny. That means only one thing. We're playing against Eldrazi, and we'll see how this goes. Devourer of Destiny is not in kind of the normal builds. This might even be like a ramp variant. 3 cards exiled, Glaring Fleshraker, Land Lotus Petal. Sometimes you can get some information if it's like 3 lands exiled. It's like, well, they have mana, they're looking for spells. This is a spread of a little bit of everything. Exiling the Fleshraker is pretty scary though, because that is one of the low drops in the deck. And seeing that in exile tells me they're already set the first couple turns. It's also a wasteland deck, but not a damn thing I can do about that. I'm gonna get Ruckus Theater. Skelemental! Get wrecked. Here we go. The nuts. Build your own Entomb. I don't even have time for Deep Cavern Bat where I'm going. Ka-chow. Take 7, discard 2 cards. That was awesome. Living the dream. Discarded Reality Smasher and Devourer of Destiny. Yeah, you don't have time for that. I promise. Oh, if they spend this turn wastelanding me, they're basically just dead. If they play a creature... Oh, I don't have... This was my red card, unfortunate. All right. I was going to say if they play a creature and I draw a land, Ashling's going to light their shit up, but that's not even true either. Okay, I did draw the land. I think that Deep Cavern Bat is the way to go. Yeah, I'm going to bat, take a look at that hand. I'll take Fleshraker and then attack with this. This is the last one we get out of this, but opponent's hand is just going to be Eldrazi Linebreaker when it's all over. Why didn't I Fury? What was I planning? I think I intended to Fury and then just forgot. What am I doing? All right, that was pretty bad. Okay, opponent's going to have a Linebreaker. Discarded the Wasteland. If I draw a red card now, I get to double Fury plus kill them. Yeah, I definitely meant to Fury. So excited. All right, opponent all in here. This is a pretty big attack back. I have a little bit of lifelink going on. I can also just Fury some of these creatures. All right, it would be so sick to draw a red card here, deck. I don't deserve it, but please give it to me. Oh my god. It's funny because the Ball Lightning actually isn't lethal, I do need to bounce on it like this. All right, evoke by pitching a red card. Okay, evoke, evoke. 3 here, 1 here. And then that dies. It comes back. Let's do another 4 here. And then attack for exactly your life total. Cooking tier 1 legacy decks all day. Misplaying, but misplaying into a more exciting thing anyway. Too easy. Okay, Fury is really good here. None of my other cards really matter. Oh, Lightning Bolt is kind of mid. I mean, the low drops it does interact with. It's also red for the Fury I just brought in. Deceit might be a little slow, but Deceit's bounce mode is not a 0 here. Reanimate actually rips because their deck is full of cool creatures too. All right, I'm going -1 Deceit, and that's the only change I'm making. I could see Disruptor Flute to name something like Wasteland, or if we get into the mid-game, name one of their more expensive things, but I don't actually believe in that plan enough to cut cards for it. All right, the non-functional hand, mulligan that. Okay, let's go. Keep and get rid of one of the lightning bolts, I guess. Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, Line Breaker. I can break that line right back. Lightning Bolt, the card I didn't cut from my deck. Ooh. Now I can Lightning Bolt and then have the Line Breaker if I want it. Beginning of combat, bolt that. Wasteland. That would be good if I wasn't about to hit you with your own Line Breaker. With a Veil. All right, Badlands, Reanimate. We're just going for it here. It's a full-on slugfest. You want to take 6 to dismember this? You could. Oh, baby. All right, well, it was going to be a lot worse. That's a good play. Pass the turn. No plays available. Boo, boo. All right. Still hitting land drops. We're still playing. I don't think I want another lightning bolt. I want land drops from here because I can curve Teferi's Veil into ball lightning and do it all. Oh my god. Now I have 2 of these. Should I bat first? Probably. They're sitting on something over there. Gonna Kozilek's command for 1 in response? Yeah. All right, draw a card, make a spawn. They can't hide this card because it's scry 1. They either have to put it in their hand immediately or put it on the bottom and draw a random card, which I also get to look at. But that just tells me the Kozilek's command was the best card in their hand. I'd send it to the bottom. Thought Not Seer, Sire of 7 Deaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're pretty far away from that, so I'll take the Thought Not Seer for now. If this card comes into play, I'm dead. But I'm just going to hope it doesn't, I guess. Wow. All right. Decided to dismember me. Well, drew dismember and then also decided to use it. This is going to take the ball lightning, which is pretty embarrassing given the rest of the contents of my hand. Now I need to draw land and another ball. Well, there's the land. Okay. Ball time. I got to draw a ball before they draw. Oh, land that taps for 2 and they did. Ah! Okay. Well, sometimes your opponent just runners your ass. Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to cast that Sire otherwise. All right. All right. All right. Okay, I get one on the play now. And Deceit is the only answer that I play to something like Sire of 7 Deaths. So I'll switch one of the 3 Teferi's Veils out. I did have Teferi's Veil in play. It happened. Opponent's got a ton of dismembers in their deck. Okay, I will keep this. I wish this was not Raucous Theater. I wish it was any other land, so I'm less exposed to Wasteland, but I am just going to go ahead and play this. And if it dumps a Skelemental, we're in business. Theater finds Deceit. I don't think I want that. I don't have double blue. And if I get Wastelanded, I want to start respecting that by just churning for my next hit. Mox Diamond. Okay. And Line Breaker. I'm less ready for it this game than I was last game. I guess I'll bat you here. We're trying to race now. Racing is the name of the game. Yuck. I can't really beat either of these cards. I guess Kozilek's command is worse, though. Yeah, I needed their hand to be just a little bit bad, or even the same hand without the Mox Diamond would have been okay. Ayavugan, Not Seer. I suspect it will take Ball Lightning. Ooh, more worried about the Awakener. All right, fair enough. This is an attack for 9. I'll take it. Fury. Should have taken the Ball Lightning. Am I more worried about Thought Knot or Line Breaker? Okay. I'm gonna Fury the Thought Knot. Do Cavern of Souls. I'll play Abundant Countryside and bat my opponent again. 2 lands over there. All right, we're actually in kind of a game. We're both in top deck mode. They're currently winning, but we are taking chip shots. They're netting 2 damage per turn because I have 2 lifelink creatures. And I've got some big rips. Right. Anything they draw is basically lethal because this gives it haste. Ball Lightning, get in. And I'll play Cavern on Elemental. Okay. Maybe I'm supposed to leave back the second bat to block a non-trample creature if they play one. I'm just really hoping they brick forever. That's my plan to win this game. Ooh, Dismember gets Kozilek's Command. Is that lethal? They don't have double colorless to even cast it, so no. But it might be. It would make 2 guys. One of those guys would get +3. Yeah, that actually would have been lethal if they could cast the spell. All right, I need to draw a Ball Lightning right now. Oh, any Ball Lightning. Let's go. Let's go. It's actually exactly lethal. No! Sad. How much does this cost? $1 million? All right. GG. A slugfest down to the very end, where a Ball Lightning would have actually won the game. On to the next round.
The NYSE Open is returning on June 6, 2026 to Long Island, New York. This proxy-friendly vintage tournament has the guaranteed prize pool of 8 pieces of Power 9 to be drafted by the top 8 based on final standings. Any additional profits made from the event will be added to the prize pool as on-site vendor credit. This tournament has been great the last 2 years. How often do you get to act sad about winning just a time walk? You know I'll be there. See you at the NYSE Open on June 6 on Long Island, New York. Use my link in the video description or find the New York Stacks Exchange on melee.gg.
I'm on the play in round 3. Mulligan this no-lander. Okay. I'm going to keep this in bottom Fury. And I'll pass the turn. My plan is to fetch Raucous Theater, but I could get bad lands if there's something I need to bolt immediately. And this is the first game where I have an early access to Teferi's Veil. If that's even right, which I'm not convinced of. A Tameo. Am I playing around Days? I don't think so. Or I can get my Raucous Theater and play around Days. I just get it all. Okay, I am going to get Raucous Theater. It slows down everything else, but that's okay. I don't think I want Cavern of Souls. Yo, uh-oh. Okay, how do I sequence this so things actually work? I could deceit their hand now, or I could just play the Veil and send it. I kind of would bolt this Tameo, but I also don't really care if I'm hitting them with Skelemental every single turn. All right, I'm playing Teferi's Veil. We're in here. Now I wish I had the Cavern, but I didn't have this when I made that decision. I can't predict the future. All right, they let Teferi's Veil resolve, which does not surprise me. Orcish Bowmaster is one of the banes of Lightning Skelemental. All right, I've been thought seized. My Skelemental! It's got to be the take, right? I am not nice. Zach Clark from the Eternal Dirtles made me watch the Skeletor He-Man Christmas special over Thanksgiving at Eternal Weekend, Italy last year. And during that special, Skeletor starts to get into the Christmas spirit and does something nice. And he gets called out. And then he says, I am not nice. And he says it while he's saving children. Okay, my opponent is clearly posturing like they have Brainstorm. They tapped blue, then untapped blue, and attacked with Tameo. And I can use Deceit to bounce Tameo. It's not what I wanted to do, though. And these legacy decks with 1 mana threats and cheap interaction are so cheaty. Big Rips, Ball Lightning, Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. That's not nothing. Okay, Deep Cavern Bat. I'll start there. Card is heinous against Orcish Bowmaster, but that's just true about my whole deck. A bat gets a look at a hand full of juice. We've got Fatal Push and 4 interactive spells. Or 1 interactive spell, 3 cantrips. Nobody knows what this hand does, least of all my opponent. I'm gonna pass. Wasteland's a fucked up draw. Don't you know my hand doesn't do anything? I think you do know that. Why would you bully me? Okay, that Cavern of Souls in the graveyard looking insanely good right now. No access to it, obviously. Fury. I think you're too late. Alright. I don't want to play this game anymore. Tameo sucks. Into the sideboard we go. I like Pyroblast. Urabrask Forge is actually for matchups like this, anyone who wants to grind with me, because the Forge is just kind of decent on its own. And then if I have Veil, the token doesn't go anywhere. Pyroblast and Forge do the sideboard out one Teferi's Veil tax. That's always going to happen, probably. Do I want extra Fury? Is Fury better than Deceit? Ashling the Limitless is kind of an extra layer of whatever, layer of cuteness that I might not really need here. I like Thoughtseize and Lightning Bolt, but I do have to recognize that I am changing threats into Urabrask Forge. I can go just up on threats, but I can also side grade threats. Like, I think Urabrask Forge is a more reliable beater than Ball Lightning in this matchup. Maybe Deep Cavern Bat is a huge liability versus the Orcish Bowmaster strat. Okay. Limiting my exposure to Orcish Bowmaster by cutting through 2 threats that die to it. I like this hand a lot. Keep Blue to Delta. Off you go. Ponder. All right, I won't counter that one. I would have countered Tameo. I might not even fetch here. And if I high roll a Skelemental, I mean, 2 of the 7 that are in my deck are already in my hand. I guess I should just get the Theater. Raucous Theater. Flip it. Fury. I can put that in the graveyard. I'm kind of interested in hitting land drops. And I do have Reanimate in my deck. I'm going to start testing interaction with Thunderkin. If they Daze or Force this, it's not the end of the world. A Force pitching Baleful Strix. A 3-for-1. Wasteland. I have found the replacement land. That's not too bad. And I don't want to say they went after the wrong land, but they went after the land I care less about. A handful of 3-drops now. Brainstorm. I hope this is trying to set up just ramming a Murktide onto the stack. I'm so ready for that. Another Wasteland. Don't like that. I'm going to float a black to put them off the scent. I'm no longer ready for Murktide Regent. I do have to interact with this, though. Badlands. Counter target spell if it's blue, that one. They would have dazed me last turn if they had that. Okay. Lands are good. I'll take them. Will they be fast enough? I'm no longer ready for Murktide. It would show up as 6/6. That's enough that a Skelemental can bully it. Yo. Pass without a play. No black mana. Do I want to Skelemental them? Yes. Always yes. All right. Force of Will. It's just like getting 2 cards, except you save 5 life. Force pitched Brazen Borrower. And a land here is insane because then I can Thoughtseize and play a spell. Ooh. I think I'd like to Fable this turn. Get a real engine going, because having 4 mana next turn with the treasure is so messed up. Alright, Force pitching Baleful Strix. The race to the bottom continues. And now I am ready for Murktide Regent. A land, and it's a good one. Okay. I can kind of dance around Orcish Bowmaster here by Thoughtseizing them first. Barrogoyf, no thank you. The hand is Fatal Push. Cavern on Elemental. Put you to 10, and then I'm not really doing anything. I need some real follow-up real quick. Oh no! What the fuck, Magic Online? God damn it. I clicked it, it went into the red zone, and then it unfucking clicked it. I am enraged. I need all the help I could get, you fucking asshole. Alright, you're at 10. We play on. That's so fucked up. Okay, this costs 6 to activate. Hopefully some colorless changelings are in my future. I think Ball Lightning is the top number 1 of 1 of worst cards you could click through combat on. Okay, Deep Cavern Bat. Let's take a look at that hand. I know they have Fatal Push. They could just push this thing, but then the push is gone and I get to look at their hand. Alright, that's way worse. Alright, I'm missing combat steps and my opponent's drawing the best card in their deck. Normal. Alright, oh, they drew 2 of them. Good. Okay, pass the turn. It's falling apart very quickly here. Honestly, them being at 10 is not a big difference from them being at 16 with what I've got going on, which is basically nothing. Okay. Wasting Cavern of Souls is a weird choice. The damage coming in. I am just going to fetch because I actually don't want to draw lands. I'm not trying to get to Abundant Countryside when my opponent has double Bowmaster. That is not the plan. Cavern on Elemental. Fury is a good draw. I have a couple more turns of Reanimate being a pretty good draw. This fetch land means Fatal Push is on for a ball, though Orcish Bowmaster already covered the balls. Fury! Fury! Herbrass Forge, game on! Let's go. All right. Now we play a sub game of how big do you want to let these get before you start picking them off? Because Bowmaster could just pick this off and add to the board. I think Bowmastering this now is actually really good. Yeah. Opponent agrees. Because that doubles the clock as well. This attack puts me to 7. And this card would have been so good 3 turns ago. Now I wish my opponent was at 10. Okay, I'm at 7. Ooh, the Thunderkin. Shit. Knowing they have Fatal Push over there, do I try to work this into a spot where I can use this? How is that? What does that even look like? I won't have enough life to Thoughtseize them. Alright, yeah, I guess all I can do here is play the Thunderkin. Let it get pushed. Let Herbrass Forge do a little bit. And then hope for a Fury next turn. Yep, easy push. Attack for 2. Opponent's empty. I'm at 3 on board. I can deal with blue spells. Reanimate. Now I can reanimate Thunderkin, and technically I'm not dead, but that won't be good enough. It would be if the opponent was at 7. All right, really trying to draw Fury here. Exactly Fury. Oh god. Or they could draw Barrowglyph and nothing matters. Okay, it doesn't matter anymore. Okay. Misclicked a ball lightning in combat, one of the worst things you could possibly do, and I lost a game. My opponent would have won that game at 7 life. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play for round 4. Gonna mulligan this hand that doesn't cast any spells. This one does cast spells. I'll keep, and I think I'm gonna bottom one of the ball lightnings. This Fury could bail my ass out of a situation where the second ball lightning is probably not what I'm looking for, especially with Thunderkin already on board. Underground Sea. Tamiyo. I've seen this before. Lands are my best draw. That's not really it. Alright, Deep Cavern Bat, see what's going on over there. Force of Will and Ponder are what's going on over there. That hand is not very good. I'm going to take Ponder and just sit them on all those lands and force. Right now I have to make a tough decision. I could clear the Tamiyo, pitching Ashling, or I could try to draw a land, get the full Fury double send. I think I'm going to just kill the Tamiyo. It's the only thing they've got going on here. Okay, handled. And now we'll see who draws a good card first. My good cards are lands. My opponent's good cards are... Tamiyo qualifies, but if I have a land, I'm still gaming. Yeah. We're going to get Volcanic Island, so I can access the Veil if I need to. There's some argument here to playing the Thunderkin now, while I know Force of Will isn't going to clip it, and then even if they force Ball Lightning next turn, I still get to attack. Though the Thunderkin, Ball Lightning is weaker to Orcish Bowmaster. I'm going to put a card on top of their deck, which means I'm basically dead. Flooded Strand. I could have left back this bat to play around Kaito, but I don't think Kaito is the card I'm worried about. Brainstorm flips Tamiyo. Yeah, it sucks that I have to worry about any blue card and most of their black cards here. Cavern of Souls off the top. Let's do it. There goes a Ponder with no shuffle first. Oh, they used the Ponder to shuffle, but they had a fetch land available. That's weird. God dang, that's so shitty. All right. I guess, I mean, like I said, I could have played around this by just sequencing the other way. And there's no reason to attack because that's how Tamiyo works. Almost an interesting game. This one and the last round, both almost interesting except for the card Tamiyo existing. Ponder. Presumably the Swamp's not in their hand anymore from the Brainstorm. Didn't shuffle that Ponder. Yo, alright, game on. Skelemental. My best case scenario here is this eats a Force of Will, because if it just gets Bowmastered, I'll be really sad. Daze. Yeah, I don't like that either. The more I think about it, that attack... Oh, you're the Doomsday build. Okay. Or you're just Doomsday. Alright, well, I'm glad we played it out this long to at least know that. Oh, Doomsday puts them to 5. Tamiyo didn't minus pre-Doomsday to pick up Brainstorm, which is interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm much happier to play against Doomsday than Dimir Tempo again, even though Tamiyo is the card that's beating me, not any other thing they're doing. Alright, bunch of shit in exile. I'm just doing a Wasteland check. Alright, Cycled Street Wraith to 3, Cycled Street Wraith to 1, and somehow I would have won this game if I hadn't cast Lightning Skelemental, or if I had hit one more land drop. Beautiful. Okay. Playing against Doomsday. I like Disruptor Flute. I like Pyroblast. I don't like Ashling. 1 Teferi's Veil. Always going to go. Sorry, Teferi's Veil. And I mean, the Ball Lightnings versus the Urabrask Forages are pretty interesting, though they're both bad against Barrogoyf. Does this have to attack? No, it just has haste. Doesn't have to fight. Just will generally choose to. You have the Furies become Forges, and I have everything that's a discard spell and everything that's a removal spell. And I'm grindier because my Ball Lightning stay in play. Thunderkin gets a lot worse with only 1 target in the deck instead of 2, or 4 instead of 8. Am I okay with that? I think so. Gonna have to be, because it's happening. The 1 lander. I can't do it. Mulligan. The 1 lander, but it's worse. 5. Okay. A 5 lander, and it's actually good. I'm gonna keep and bottom Countryside and Cavern. And then just Thoughtseize my opponent, see what's going on over there. They're on 6. Alright, well, I'll take Barrogoyf. Can't beat that one. I'm gonna get Thoughtseized back, lose my Flute, and then we're in top deck mode. Thoughtseize. Flute's gone. Skelemental, baby. Okay. Okay. I think the Raucous Theater is worth getting here. It takes me off of blue, but the blue is just for the 2 Teferi's Veils anyway. City Sewer. Kept a card on top. Theater. Thoughtseize, huh? I think I want to kill my opponent here. And I want cards that do that. Cavern on Elemental. Black, red, red. They did just stack a Doomsday on top of the deck. I like my chances here. If they stacked a Barrogoyf on top of the deck, I'm extremely dead. Discarded Force of Will and Polluted Delta. Yeah, that Dark Ritual will get Barrogoyf into play just fine. Though so would have the Polluted Delta, and it would have been a more permanent mana source. That makes me think that my opponent is on something else here. Yeah, this Consider makes sense. The Consider just picks up the card that they had on top of the deck anyway. So it's Dark Ritual, something else. What do we got? They're also in the spot that if they cast Doomsday, they're at exactly 6, where Ball Lightning's lethal. Thoughtseize, great. Alright, Dark Ritual Doomsday, the perfect sequence. Yep. Why wouldn't one of the random cards just be Thoughtseize here? Why not? Why not? Magic Online. Magic Gods. I'm out here playing fucking Ball Lightning in Legacy in 2026, and you're just teeing my opponents up for the fucking nuts. I was actually so ready to just Disruptor Flute Thassa's Oracle. I played that whole sequence as if the top card of the deck was Doomsday, and it was, and then they were just like, oh, Thoughtseize you. Alright, let me draw something in my deck that kills them. I've got 3 Skelementals and 4 Thunderkins. Any of them win the game here, because my opponent's going to be at 5 life. Let's go, deck. You owe me 1. Reanimate. There's 2 more outs. 9 outs. Pretty good. And 5 is exactly enough life to set up a double Street Wraith pile, which means that the Urabrask Forges could blow up their pile and get me enough time. Urabrask Forge is actually... So I would attack them to 4, and then they draw Street Wraith for turn. They can Wraith to 2, and then they can't Wraith anymore, and then they die. Okay, Urabrask Forge is also lethal against the fastest pile they could build if they're going for pile speed, which feels like the correct way to build here. All right, I got a lot of good draws. Can we find one? I'm officially using my one-time dealer for the league right now. All right, big rips. Big draws. Ah! One time, every time. GG. Did you think having the perfect nut protected Doomsday would save you? Now I have to beat a Barrogoyf in game 3. How is that even possible? Okay. Fury frequently doesn't kill Barrogoyf is part of my problem here. I think if my opponent literally goes turn 1 fetch Dark Ritual Barrogoyf, I cannot win. What am I doing with that information? Lightning Bolt is good against not Teferi, Tamiyo. Lightning Bolt's also good against Teferi, but that's not in anybody's deck. Do I want some Furies in? Oh, Deceit can bounce Barrogoyf, I guess. Buy me some time to tempo through it. Thought seizing it before they can play it matters a little bit. Yeah, against the Doomsday strat, I actually do really like Ball Lightning. Okay. Lightning Bolt all the way out. That doesn't kill Barrogoyf, which is the card I'm worried about. And I am now denser on balls. And I've used my one time for the league already, so I have to play this one fair and square. Hand's great, though. Keep the perfect curve. Thoughtseize to Fairy's Veil, Urbrass Forge. Keep my guys forever. Oh, or I'm just going to die. Yeah, there's the thing I said is not actually possible to beat for me. Yeah, ironically, Lightning Bolt would actually work here. Okay, Badlands, Thoughtseize you. Take a Ponder. Hand is 2 lands. They've got a 3/4 Barrogoyf. Can I outmuscle this? I have the Veil into double Forge. If anyone can do it, it's right now. It's like this. Fetching pre-combat to get Undercity Sewer. That's a weird thing to do. I don't think making Barrogoyf 1 point bigger matters, and what if you wanted that card? Then you can't mill with Barrogoyf. Right, milled 3, found Thassa's Oracle. It technically counts as something you get here. Multiple Thunderkins. Man, look at this hand. Look at this curve. Look how easy this game would have been if my opponent didn't Dark Ritual out Barrogoyf on turn 1. But the good news is, it's going to happen. I am going to trigger Teferi's Veil in a way that is useful. Oh, come on! Force pitching Thassa's Oracle? On that? That does put an enchantment in the graveyard. Okay. I have no idea how to even play this game from here. I guess Deceit can bounce this thing. If there's enough mana to replay it. Reanimate. You haven't milled one of your own. That's unfortunate. Okay. Do I want to go to 2? I think I have to. I'm going to play Urbrass Forge this turn. This is an artifact, though, which could betray me. All right. If I go to 2, Reanimate doesn't work anymore, ever. That's mostly true anyway. All right. Urbrass Forge, let's fucking go. Trigger. Now, funny enough, if I was playing Sundial of the Infinite instead of Teferi's Veil, which does a lot of the same things, the Urbrass Forge would actually completely stabilize and eventually beat the Barrogoyf. But that is, regrettably, not what's going on. Opponent milled a Street Wraith and a Tamiyo. Took back the Tamiyo. Good call. Oh, drew another Barrogoyf. All right. I couldn't beat the first one. All right. So that was the complete dream, hand dream scenario. And I think I actually would have outmuscled a turn 3 Barrogoyf, but obviously turn 1 Barrogoyf backed by Force of Will. What are you going to do? On to the final round.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest.
And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables. I'm on the draw in the final round against Delthar, who was one of the blue-black post premier innovators a couple months ago, but I think has most recently been playing goblins. My hand is bad against all those things. All right, this one I'll keep, and I think I'm going to get rid of Polluted Delta out of this hand. Oh, Chancellor of the Annex, what are you up to today? Has another honest wizard fallen into the Oops All Spells asshole? Okay, it is some sort of white something or other deck. I prefer that strongly to Oops All Spells, though you did fade the turn 1 Thoughtseize here. Chancellor of the Annex is a pretty embarrassing card when you don't immediately win the game after revealing it. Okay, that's under the Mox. What do we got? It's a human. What do we got? Thalia? Ooh, okay, who is this? Look at an opponent's hand, choose a card type other than creature. Spells of that type cost more. Okay. This doesn't interact with my Polluted Delta, I don't need to respond. Fury is basically the best card I can imagine having versus a deck like this. It's just, is it going to matter when it matters? Will I have a red card in time? Will I get wastelanded out of this game? Sorceries cost Morcery. Fetch for Raucous Theater. The Awakener. Alright, put that on top. And now I have some options. I think I just want a Fury and then resolve Thoughtseize. So I have to pay 1 for this. And then Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize was going to cost 3. Now it costs 1. Another Yira. Alright, you've got a handful of Witch Enchanters. That makes Teferi's Veil a little awkward, but I can't cast it anyway. Scoreboard. Yo. Alright, Elemental. Do I want to Thoughtseize? Oh, I'm going to send the Elemental. This is what we're here to do. Ball Lightning getting into combat looks so good. Just like it did in 1994. Looks amazing now. Wasteland. That's the best card against my deck. That's not true. We identified Barrowglyph as the best card against my deck. But Wasteland's pretty good too. It took out not a Cavern of Souls. Ooh. Do I want a Thoughtseize or a Deceit? I guess I want a Thoughtseize. Take one of the enchanters. And opponent's hand is Cavern plus Enchanter. What he's doing right now is sandbagging the enchanter to pick off the veil when it's cast. And so far it's working. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You know who stacks up just fine against a 1-3 on defense? A 1-2 and a 6-1? Pow! Yeah. Alright, we're coming in there. Coming in hot. And if I draw a blue source, I get to keep the Ball Lightning, and Witch Enchanter will be too late to stop it from being around for 2 turns. Okay, don't draw a good card right now, because otherwise I'm in good shape. Cavern on Archon. No, my nemesis. Okay, they're just getting ready for future Archons. That has to be okay, I guess. Voice of Victory, doing what it does, which is Blessed Little on this board. Ooh, well, that is even more fucked up than anything else I could have hoped for. I'm going to reanimate Fury and easily win the game. Yeah, Deceit couldn't bounce it because I didn't have double blue, which is what I was hoping to do that turn, but reanimate was way better than a land anyway. Okay, the other Fury comes in. Teferi's Veil still has not triggered in this league. It is clearly the worst card in the matchup and in the deck, but also I want to give it the most chance to play here. I don't think I want Urbrass Forages versus the deck full of Witch Enchanters. I don't know how much First Strike is in the deck, is one of the problems as well. But I think Deep Cavern Bat or Thoughtseize. I think Thoughtseize on the draw is probably worse than Bat. Bat's at least a combat object. And then the rest of this stuff, who cares what's going on? None of this is for mono white humans. All right, Lightning Bolt. One of the best things I could have. A Plains, a Chrome Mox, pitching Anointed Peacekeeper, Chalice of the Void for 1. Yeah, that's pretty good against my Lightning Bolt hand. Skelemental! I am not nice! Alright, the Teferi's Veil is in my hand. Are we going to get a chance to do it? 1 Witch Enchanter spent. Anointed Peacekeeper. Alright. I'm going to get Raucous Theater in response. Cavern of Souls. I'll take it. That insulates me against Wasteland a little bit. By the way, new He-Man movie. Jared Leto is playing Skeletor, which sucks. Jared Leto sucks. What a fucking weirdo. We did it! Moral victory. Opponent had to Anointed Peacekeeper naming Teferi's Veil in order to be competitive in this game. I should not have played Underground Sea. I should have played one of my redundant Badlands in case Wasteland takes me off blue here. Oopsies. Lotus Petal. What do we got? Is there a real card? Not really. All right. Unlicensed Hearse, I'm not super worried about. And oh. I think I actually want to play Fable here. Yeah, if the last card in hand is Witch Enchanter, this is a great target for it. But if it's not, looting away these bolts is going to be awesome. Yeah, we tricked him with the 2 of Reanimate game 1. Unlicensed Hearse in here. Yeah, I go to 13. Chalice on 2. All right, that's a disappointing result. Deceit can clear one of these, though. I did Cavern Bat. I guess what I'm going to do here is loot away definitely Bat. And at the Veil, I want to cast it, but I feel like Deceit should be used to clear the Chalice on 1 and turn on Lightning Bolt. Like, I could just dump the 2/2 drops, bounce the Chalice on 1, go nuts with Lightning Bolt for a turn. All right, sorry Teferi's Veil. Opponent played Chalice on 2. I can't help that shit. Cavern on Elemental. We're almost at Hardcast Deceit, which would be pretty nice. But I think getting this Chalice out of play long enough to bolt a couple times is the way forward. Chalice is gone. Bolt Peacekeeper. Could wake up Hearse in response, but I'll just bolt that too. That's fine. Yep, didn't do it. Okay, attack with my fella, and now I have Hardcast Fury available for next turn, and Fable is flipping. I feel pretty far ahead at this point. I just want to point out that although Teferi's Veil is not going to trigger this game, it did take an Anointed Peacekeeper and a Chalice on 2 to keep it back. Veil also got Force of Willed at one point in this league. All of that is awesome. Oh, right, you can't Chalice on 1 because of Chalice on 2, right? The bolts are just free and easy forever. All right, I'm going to Thoughtseize first, and that'll clear the way for Skelemental to empty the rest of the hand. Plow in response, sad. I guess I'll take Witch Enchanter, and we might as well do the thing we came to do. I'll Skelement that Chalice out of your hand. The opponent's at 7, which is actually 4, because we both know about the bolt in my hand. Archon of Emeria. I'll fetch in response, and get yet another Badlands. Okay. Opponent wants to be in a damage race. I accept. I'm going to take this opportunity to bolt their smelly face. Opponent's at 4. Opponent's at 2. Play another Elemental. 4 to the Archon. And Teferi's Veil. Still locked out by Chalice on 2. One of the most disrespectful things imaginable. We got the GGs. Bookending the league with a win on either side. I'll take it. Okay, so Teferi's Veil didn't trigger. That's tough. But there was a Force of Will involved. I think it got... Did it get Thoughtseized once? It definitely got both Anointed Peacekept and Chaliced in a round. That's a lot of respect for that card. The deck's weaknesses, I mean, Barrogoyf, call it right out. Obviously, we could just build the deck with a bunch of Fatal Pushes in the sideboard, if that's what we're worried about. I was much more focused on my own plan. Honestly, if you're not married to Teferi's Veil, if you just like Rakdos Ball Lightnings, cut the Teferi's Veils and the Deceits, and then just make your mana smooth. You probably get a basic Swamp and a basic Mountain out of that, and you don't need the blue lands anymore. And then there's your 5 slots, play some Fatal Pushes. It's disappointing Veil never happened, but I think everything else the deck tries to do did happen. I did get to evoke a Fury into an Ashling. There was a bunch of Thunderkin Awakening. There were... the 2 of Reanimate was awesome. That won 2 or 3 different games on its own. Deep Cavern Bat? You know, in Orcish Bowmaster's format, maybe this one's not the best, but I was looking for ways to have Cavern of Souls and Abundant Countryside bridge the gap between interaction and the ball lightnings that are very difficult to cast. You could play Kitesail Freebooter. That one can't take creatures, but it does survive Bowmaster pings. Just some options for you. I'm going to leave this one here. I think it was a noble effort, and out of only 5 games played, 5 matches played, not everything is going to happen. I think if I played 10 matches, we would have seen Teferi's Veil do some stuff. There it is, Spike Cafe. I hope this scratched your itch at least a little bit. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.